What's going on? Back at it. So it's a new day. Got a lot done last night. Me and Jake, uh, we're busting tail to get some of this like little stuff done. Um, so we got some updates here. So the turbo and manifold are fully mounted up. Manifold's done. Turbo feed line is run and hooked up. The turbo drain line is hooked up to the block. I just bought a really heavy duty drain line. I bought 2 foot of it online, so we're just gonna trim it down. I only need about maybe 6 inches of it. So we're gonna cut that today, get it hooked up. That'll be really easy. So that's how the intake is gonna sit right now. I'm not a huge fan of it coming up like this, but it does clear the hood and be a prime spot for air to come through the hood duct there. So I don't really care if it performs well, it works well. We're also thinking of maybe, I don't really want to have to cut the intake, but if I cut the backside of it at an angle, it might adjust the way it sits in and might route it down here. So we'll play with that. I just want to get the car running. We are not far away from starting the car. The only thing I need to do, I'm gonna run to AutoZone this morning and pick up some more battery terminals for wire. And all I gotta do is cut the factory ground right here, put a terminal on it, put it on the negative post there, and then get the other wires I bought, hook them up to the battery, and then hook them up to the post up there. And my buddy Jake is bringing over his exhaust, his little J pipe kind of thing, 3-inch. He has a top mount setup too on his Speed 6. So we're gonna put his on, and he's got a cold pipe with a tile blow off valve on it. We're gonna try to see if it'll fit on my car. If it does, boom, perfect. We'll be able to start the car today. I'm gonna go get some oil and all that other stuff to get. I'm gonna take the valve cover off. We're gonna drain the oil out of this now, and then we will take oil squirter with some lubricant and stuff in there, and we'll squirt it down into the. We'll take the spark plugs out and everything, squirt it down in there so we can wet the rings a little bit before we, start the car, and then we'll put oil in it while the valve cover's off and just pour it all over everything until we've got the right amount of stuff in there. And then the fuel setup, my lines aren't here yet. They probably won't be here for another like 2 days or so, and my actual cold pipe and exhaust pipe won't be here for another few days as well. But the good news is that for startup, I don't need this fuel system, this secondary fuel system for the port injection hooked up, because we're gonna do the first couple data logs without the port injection so that he can dial in, the parameters of the motor and everything, make sure everything's healthy before we start throwing power at it. So that'll be cool. Can start it up, drive it around, identify any leaks or hoses or that aren't hooked up or anything like that. So got a lot coming at you, so stay tuned and we'll get at it. Let me know what you think about the intake setup there. I mean, the hood does close with that like that, and it clears it perfectly fine. So I'm thinking about putting one of those like cone filters on it or whatever and see how it works. But for now, we're just working on getting it started. I already have the base map loaded up on my access port and getting it ready for startup. Once that's done, once we're getting ready to start, I'm gonna leave it up on jack stands for now, and then once it starts and we identify there's no leaks coming from the underside at all, from like the block fittings or anything like that, we'll put it on the ground and get it outside. So I'm super excited. I appreciate all the help and support I've gotten through the build. We're getting super close, and I'm so stoked. I can't thank Bryce, Justin, and Brent, and my buddy Jake for all the help over the last 8 months, ordering parts, picking their brains, stuff like that. So we are getting super close, and yeah. All right, so Jake came over and brought his cold pipe. I just rigged it up just so we have a pipe with a blow-off valve on it until mine comes. So we just have a pipe rigged up. Turbo is completely done. Drain and feed lines are all done. Now we're just hooking up the last couple vacuum lines. Most of the stuff's already run. Just took the plugs out, re-gapped them, oiled up the cams a little bit, and squirt some oil down in the plug wells to just give it a little bit of lube before I crank it. So we're just getting everything ready for when we start it. And then got some new oil and everything, already drained everything out, getting everything good to go. Fuel lines still aren't here, so we'll worry about that later. I don't need that to start right now. So that's where we're at. Everything's good to go. Wastegate's mounted, all that stuff. So moving right along. So I got my buddy Jake's hood exit on because mine's not done being fabricated yet, but we got that set up. Oil is topped off. Cams are all oiled. Spark plugs re-gapped. Everything tightened down. Just got a few miscellaneous things left I got to clean up. Like I said again, we got his cold pipe on there just for now, just for when we start it. At this point, we're just double checking all the odds and ends and everything before we fire her up. But that is it for today. Probably we just got a new belt as well because mine was kind of chewed up, so put a new belt on, and that's about it. So, oh yeah, one more thing. So all this mess over here, it'll all be cleaned up. I'm not worried about anything tucked yet because once my fuel lines come in, I have to unplug most of the crap and run my fuel lines and route those the right way, and then I'll tuck everything. I mean, everything will mostly be ran under here and tucked away. The ECU will be mounted up and everything, and this will be bolted in. But I just have it hooked up right now because the goal is to get the car started and make sure we don't have any leaks or nothing's going on. I'm not getting any like crazy codes or anything like that. So from here, I'll just we just got to put a belt on. We'll do that tomorrow, and 3 vacuum lines from the compressor housing, the wastegate, and everything to the boost controller. And then tonight when I'll put power on and I'll load the new map, the base map on, and get it all set to go so that when we roll tomorrow, we're ready to start it up. Huge shout out to my buddy Jake for coming over to help with and bringing his hood dump that he has until mine's done, and lending me his cold side pipe with blow-off valve and everything like that until mine comes in. Again, not as pretty as I want it to be right now, but we're getting super freaking close. So that's about it. So I just want to take some time to say thanks for watching. Next episode is going to be last couple things, and then rolling into a startup video. So next episode is going to be pretty exciting. Make sure you stay tuned. Hit the like button. Make sure you comment on this video and hit that subscribe button. Peace.